and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one knowing that Taylor, aka Talent El Idolo D240 Taylor, the one and only, aka Mr. Energy, aka the Motor Mouth. Motor Mouth for the sun. Don't get it twisted. Your boy does his ring announcing as well. We got a big show for you guys. It's Monday. It's Monday, and not only is it Monday, we ain't talked since last Wednesday. And if there's a reason that we don't talk on a Friday, it means something was really popping that day for me to have to get away. Ain't a lot of things that get me away on a Friday. This one wasn't family related. I mean, not quite family yet. Like, if things go out, I wanted to go. Like, family will be made from this. No, like, it will become family. But we had a big weekend. Big weekend, folks. I can't wait to get into all of this. You understand, right? We got the, I'm just gonna get this out the way now. We got the Yanks being swept. We got Brittany Griner still locked up. We got the Giants stomping the Jags. We got some notable injuries, folks. We got birthdays. We got the Jets flying high in the Mile High. We got apparently we're seeing it firsthand. This is officially no longer a league for old men. Don't forget to go register and go out and vote if you haven't taken care of that as of yet. What, folks? Guess what? We actually have the results from In Art We Lust 3. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, right? Yo, brethren, ease up on Russ now. Ease up on Russ. We're going to talk about we're going to talk a little bit about that, what's going on with the Russell Westbrook hate. And I'm going to call it hate because I'm feeling like you guys get a little out of hand. I feel like you guys are getting a little out of hand with the Russell Westbrook slander. Now, I know I'm the person that comes on here and says that his cooking is kind of bland. But that's when he cooks bad. We're going to talk about that later. Right? We got Young Frankenstein to get into. We have all that and more on the MyT Sports Podcast. I don't know if you guys know. It's officially Monday. It's October 24th. It's 10 p.m. at night. I know you guys are wondering, like, God damn, T, 10 p.m. at night? Yeah, so this may mean that we're going to 3 a.m. in the morning. That's right, though. We got the Knicks game going over here. We got Monday Night Football going on over here. Both of those will probably be done by the time that we'll be done by the time that we finish the podcast. Hopefully there's another game on. There's like a 10 o'clock game or a 10:30 game for us to watch until about like midnight, 12:30ish. We'll keep that on as well, folks. I told you, folks, we're in a big mood today. We had highs of 88, lows of 68. Current temperature right now is 76 degrees. You officially listen to Volume 8. Episode 19, track 473 of the MyT Sports Podcast. But you know what we say here, regardless of the time and regardless of the weather, Coach, you
play to win the game.
It's always a blast on the MyT Sports Podcast. And listen, every day that we come at you, we're back at it like a sports fanatic. Hey, it's you don't know about me, Joe Rogan. My Knicks are 5-2. I'm sorry, my Jets are 5-2. And the haters gonna hate. 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 The hate's coming already. The hate is coming already. And you know what? We're here for the shits. We're here for it all. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. It's coming. We were here for all the shits, folks. Right here on the MyT Sports Podcast. Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. Let's get into let's do what we always like to do, right? And let's start off the birthday podcast. Let's start off the podcast with our little birthday party, right? Where we like to shout out everybody that had a birthday since the last time that we was on the air. We had 5 days that we was away. And apparently everybody didn't have a birthday on 5 days, but we got the people that mattered. So let's get it. Ooh, it's kind of hot. You like that? I like that. You like that? I like because yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your, because it's your birthday. We sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Hey, yo, we got some special birthdays this past weekend. We had some special birthdays since the last time that we spoke, folks. Yo, if you're listening right now and you happen to know somebody that had a birthday since the 28th, sorry, it's the 20th to today, go ahead and drop their names in the comments. We'll go ahead and give them a birthday shout out as well too. Right, if you're listening, you make sure that you make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe so you hear that video every time that we go on. But you also that you make sure that you share so whoever you love and you care about can also hear this with you when you hear. You want to make sure we drop the flavor in your and their ear. I still like that. Right? You want to hear that again? I know that was unconventional for you. It's what we do here on MyT Sports Podcast, right? Because yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Because it's your birthday. We sing happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our birthday shout outs for the evening, folks. Like I said, it was really weird. I had no birthdays for the 20th. Maybe Facebook is no longer giving them to me. Cause that's how I get on my birthdays. If I don't remember your birthday out right, which is basically everybody for the 22nd. I know your birthday's out right. Everybody else, like you gotta get your boy on Facebook, follow, like, subscribe. All right. And make sure that so you can get it. Also, let's get you guys. Not only do we have the call-in line through Podbean, we're also now accepting call-ins through the Instagram app as well. Yeah, I don't know why we've been fighting this. All right, we're accepting call-ins. We're accepting call-ins to the show, to the Instagram app as well. So if you're listening to you're calling to the show, go find it on Instagram. Go hit that little call button, right? Hit that little join button. We got you. Let's go in and get this great debate going. Right? No birthdays for the 20th or the 21st or the 22nd. We had that shit on lock. Once happy birthday to Gervais and to Darnell and to Claudia and to Monica. We're talking about niece and we're talking about brother and we're talking about sister and we're talking about sister. I mean, you don't understand the connection there, right? Dr. Gervais Harris, one of my little ones. You know what I mean? Like, so proud of you. He keep doing what you do. She turned old as fuck on the 22nd. Yo, my big bro Darnell, like, happy birthday to him as well. Like, you heard me talk about these people before here on the podcast. Yo, happy birthday to him as well. He turned old as fuck too on the 22nd. Happy birthday to my homegirl Claudia, like my little sis. I think she's a little older than me. That's my army sister. I don't know what's happened to you. Like, I know you kind of been out of the loop lately. Right, hope to get in contact with you pretty soon. It's time for your annual check-in, ma. It's time for your annual check-in. You know how we worry about you. So you guys, anybody that are listening to this that know Claudia Becerra, right, have contact with her, make sure you do a little check-in with her, right? And if you can, check in with me so I can know she's okay or not. She likes to, she goes AWOL every once in a while. You know, everybody deals with their stress differently. She's one of those people that completely retracts, and sometimes it's not for her best self-interest. I got another homegirl like that right now. She gets into these retracting stages. Right? No. We ain't done with the birthday shout outs. How dare you, DJ MyT? I'm gonna need you to come back, run that beat back. Let's get back to it. But what do we say here? I think you know what we say here. We are back at it like a sports fanatic. Get that beat back in here for all the listeners of MyT Sports. Knicks game is over. I'm happy. I am real happy. You're talking to Julius Randle like Julius Randle did something. Yo, if it's your birthday, right? Or you know somebody that had that birthday, right? If we're all part of the birthday celebration, yeah, that's real. That's real. Woo. All right? What I want you to do, right? My bad. I already cracked open a drink. You grab yourself a drink, right? Either you pour it up or you crack it open. If not, you roll yourself a nice little doobie snack. Doobie Snacks, the gifts to MyT Trivia. Right? And let's go ahead and celebrate these birthdays together. You know what I mean? See, even ESPN is on top of it, right? So we had birthday for Javay, little, you know what I mean, little niece. Had birthday to Darnell, big bro. Had happy birthday to Claudia, little sis, even though she's older than me. And then also happy birthday to Monica as well. Like, that's also little sis. It's funny. Right, we was at the beach recently, right? Celebrating Darnell and Monica's birthday. Because both of them, two of them live down here. Javay, she lives in Vegas. Claudia, she's in Cali or Vegas, right? Kind of spread out. I met Claudia while I was in the Army, first time in North Carolina, and then we reunited again in Indiana. I'm sparking one for all of you right now. All right, shout out to Blazy's. To Blazy Susan, and these colorful joys, because we wanted to represent some breast cancer awareness over the weekend, and these Blazy Susies really came in handy. Like, it really helped set that up, that smoking ambiance. Like, you'd be surprised the little things that really help set the mood for the thing, for what you're trying to do, and the pink joints really help. Shout out to Blazy Susan, right? So we at the beach, right, for the birthday parties, and damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, and I'm talking to Monica's son, right, little nephew, right, and he goes, "How many brothers and sisters do you have?" And I was like, "Well, I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters." He goes, "What? He ain't know that." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I got 2 that you know. I got 2 sisters you've never met. I got 1 brother that you may have met, 1 brother that you definitely have not met, and 1 that you definitely have met. And he was like, "What? I've met your brothers? I met some of your brothers?" I'm like, "Yes." I was like, "Your mom, sister, and Lewis, brother." He was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, this whole time, like, what do you know what's going on here? He asked me if I'm the youngest. I'm like, "No, your mom is the youngest." He's like, "What? You're older than my mom?" This is the thing about being Tio Chocolate, right? It's not just that black don't crack. I have that kind of personality where, let's just say I have a jovial personality, right? It comes off real playful, right? And I'm willing to play around, especially with kids, right? And like I said, when I come into the room, right? I come into the room with that big pod energy, right? With that big uncle energy. And they see that and they feel that and they cling to it. And like I said, I'll go chase you. I got no problem. I am that dude. I will interact with you and your kids like for hours. I can do this for hours while you relax your powers or recharge your powers. Yo, like, if it's your kids, then it's ours. It takes a community to raise these little flowers. Like, for real. Because also, listen, when I have kids, like, honestly, I'm gonna do some reckless shit, like leave, like ring the doorbell, leave my kid outside, and like bounce and be like, "Hey, yo, Pimpin', remember that time where I fed your kid a potato off my plate?" Like, yeah, payback. Like, remember that time when I am new to the corner of podbean, sometimes open toss conspiracy theories, late night, everyone opinion counts. Facts. Welcome to the podcast. But I would appreciate it though, before you come in and talk about what you do, at least give me a like, share, and a follow first. Like, have some decent courtesy to at least tip your boy before you start sticking your hand down his pants. Like, shit. Like the nerve of these people. Like, these guys over here, no respect. But I really had fun, really had a good time, like, seeing everybody. And I'm telling you, man, like, maybe I'm getting sentimental in my old age. Maybe I'm getting to that point where I'm ready to drop my own hit single, right? I'm just trying to find the right record label and producers, like to help me with the mastering, right? But I really enjoy watching like the next generation interact and have these weird ass and have these interactive moments. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about all of the babies basically. I mean, they just none of them been walking for more than a year already. You know what I mean? So none of them is really more than 2. I mean, there's a couple of them too, but they all about the same size. None of them is really walking for like so they all interact. They talk. They all mumble the same language. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It makes me just want to drop out like a 7-month-old right now. Like, there you go. Let's just skip all the bullshit. Let's just make you 17 months right now and call it a wrap. I think I'd be good if I could start off at 17 weeks. So, boo, let's let you know. If I disappear for a year and almost a half, like, it's no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I am, yo, Reggie, joke me on next, right? Nothing we say here is serious. You understand? We got more birthdays. I mean, they ain't the only birthdays. This is birthday shout out segment shouldn't even taking this long right now. Let's go ahead and get the birthdays out for today. Because your birthdays, today's birthdays matter too. Not just those 4 special people, but also all the special people that I have in my life, right? I want to say happy birthday to Matt Rupp, right? Happy birthday to him as well. One of the homeboys, right? One of the homies. Also want to say happy birthday to Kayleen Dara, right? Like one of my homie sisters, right? Want to say happy birthday to all of you, right? And don't get it twisted, right? Like don't think what happened. Right? You have to understand. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Don't think what happened. You have to understand. There's always a method to the madness, and
These pods are recorded for quality and training purposes.
oh man. So who do we have? We had Javade, we had Darnell, we had Claudia, we had Monica, we had Matt, we had Kylie. And honestly, that's not bad for having 5 days of birthdays. But we want to wish you all a happy birthday. We hope you party hard. We hope you regret nothing. Let me stop. Right? Hope you party hard, regret nothing, enjoy everything, right? Get your weekend at Bernie's on the weekend just passed. So I hope you had a blast, right? But more importantly, you continue to stay MyT. Remember to flex on your haters. That's what the whole MyT brand is about, right? Having fun. No worries. Be happy and flexing, and it's flexing on your haters, right? Isn't that what we all do? Right, in silent, we all kind of flex on our haters, even though you don't want to give those negative people like power. You do sometimes use them to motivate you, right? You guys know what I'm saying, so you flex on them. Like this, you see the 2 guns up on the Mighty Sports Podcast. You see, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. Now, somebody that you're not seeing everywhere these days is Brittany Griner, as once again, Brittany Griner makes our
MyT
topic of the day, right? Brittany Griner has been officially locked up now for 247 days in Russian confinement, where it has been deemed that she is being currently now held hostage. Remember, this is what it's been labeled, right? She's being wrongfully detained, right? As they continue to try to use her as a political prisoner. Jalen Brunson tonight, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists in 33 minutes. We're going to talk about this game just a little bit later. Facts. But we have some Knicks post game. That sucks. I was going to change this. But now I kind of just want to see the post game report. Even though I can't read and talk to you guys at the same time. No, can I? It's gonna be awkward, right? I mean, I can read and talk to you guys at the same time, but I think at some point in time it's gonna make me feel like I'm trying to read what's being said up there, but that's not really trying it. And let's just focus. Ooh, Serena. Sorry, got distracted. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like Serena's sexy, man. You know, I like me a nice little Amazonian chick. Like I like Death by Snoo Snoo. like that's a real thing, and I am here all for it. What's going on, Tears? What's going on? What's going on, Leo? We see you guys. Yo, definitely shout out to the Knicks. Definitely shout out to the Knicks. Yo, Tears. Why do I feel like I know you personally? Are you my boy Vinny? I picked up on that vibe the last time. I was like, yo, I wonder if that's my boy Vinny. Right? You could not be. Welcome to the podcast. The phone lines are open when you guys are. Like, oh, that is you. Ha ha. Oh, it's not. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. Knicks are looking good. I'm happy with the Knicks. I'm definitely happy with the Knicks. Knicks came over a nice little victory today. I was going to talk about the Knicks a little bit later, but since you already asked me about the Knicks, let's go ahead and talk about some Knicks. We can listen. We'll never forget about Brittany Griner. It's been 247 days. We'll keep her in our continue to keep her in our thoughts and prayers and whatever positive and ways that you use to channel positive energy, right? But I don't know. Knicks are looking good. Knicks are actually looking good, and we're starting this segment a little bit earlier than I wanted. But you know what? Let's get into some Knicks talk. Because you know we like to do our Knicks talk. That Knicks talk, right? Whether they balling on the court or they balling in the park, we like to do that Knicks talk. That Knicks talk. Barbershop, locker room, water cooler. We talk that Knicks talk. Jalen Brunson, you're right. We seen the I'm seeing the comments come in. Jalen Brunson saying that Jalen Brunson is a real deal so far. Julius Randle 2.0. Both of them have been beneficial so far for the Knicks. It's been real good. When it comes to Julius, you're starting to see a patient Julius Randle, right? You're starting to see a Julius Randle that doesn't have the weight of the team, I think, on him anymore, right? Where he has to worry about being the pseudo leader, plus the leading scorer, plus the ball handler, plus responsible for distribution. Like, that was a lot for him. Maybe that was just too much for him last year. That could honestly be it. On top of the pressure of being in New York, and because you understand, Julius Randle didn't quite lie. He was having good games statistically, right? No different than some of the games he put up last year. It's just that the plus minus was looking different. And while he was putting up the numbers to help win games, he wasn't making all the winning plays to win games. Or sometimes his play made things more stagnant. Like honestly, he converted back to his old style: dribble, pump fake, pump fake, spin move, pump fake, shot. And yeah, right, comments coming in. I'm as Tez is saying, his attitude was horrible last year, but that could be also part of the pressure. The team, he's playing bad. New York is getting all over him. You know how New York is. New York is gonna make sure he knows about it. And then his son is starting to understand what is being said around him. I think that's probably the part that may have got to him, is that his son is starting to understand what's going on around him. And he said it, not me. He said his son was asking him how come they're booing him. So that means his son is starting to comprehend his environment. And maybe he can't look his son in the face and say to his son, honestly, your dad is playing like shit right now. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you. Appreciate you guys coming through. And don't forget the call-in lines are open. Whether you're listening on Podbean or you're listening on Instagram, we are now taking phone calls and callers from both feeds. But you're starting to see a patient Julius Randle. Now, as far as Jalen Brunson, you're seeing the payoff already, and it's weird, right? Look how, I don't want to say this is how bad the Knicks have been, but this is how inept they've been at the point guard position, where Jalen Brunson already in his third game has had the most assists without a turnover. He already leads the league. He already leads the Knicks as far as assist to turnovers. 16 straight assists. Started off without a turnover. Which, ironically, I was surprised to find out that Deuce was the one he had to pass with 15. Like that didn't make me happy. I'm not gonna lie. That did not make me happy to hear. Like that, I was like, thank you, Leo. Thank you. That actually brought me back a little bit. I was a little depressed. I was like, damn, these two, they just started playing for the Knicks. I mean, no other point guards did this? After all these years, you talking about nobody made it to 15 assists without turning the ball over? Without coughing up the rock? Without spilling the cookies? The greatest point guard since Raymond Felton. If Raymond wasn't that great, that's... As far as somebody that still has youth and years ahead of them, yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. So I can't count Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a loner. He was a rental car. You're like you gotta burn the tires on that one as much as you can, and then turn it back in. Like, here you go. Those dents was there when I got it. Jalen Brunson as well, right? He's helping bring in a common present to the Knicks, right? You see it. You see just what we talked about. The turnovers. You see the turnovers. You see the turnovers being reduced. You see the ball movement almost overemphasized sometimes to a fault. But you can never have too much ball movement sometimes, right? I mean, you can, right? But you can't have too much ball movement. Because what they're saying, what you're basically doing is just keeping that defense moving. Now, every once in a while, you catch them making the unnecessary pass, the jump pass, the flashy pass out of the lane with the no look out the side. Like, definitely big shout out to Jason Kidd and Rasheed Wallace, because they definitely held it down when they weren't supposed to. Rasheed Wallace, because didn't Rasheed Wallace have to come in and play massive amounts of games for us that he shouldn't have, with that bad, what did he have? Plantar fasciitis. Oh God. If you guys never had plantar fasciitis, it will. Ball don't lie. And he's the only person to ever get a technical for saying ball don't lie. And also just looking at a ref. And also just smiling. And also just standing there. They just didn't like Rasheed Wallace. I see, you know what's funny? I would like to see referees try to get away with that today. I feel like there would be a whole entire injunction on a referee today if they try to do the players today what they did to Rasheed Wallace. I don't think it will fly anymore. But you know that's the whole game, right? There's different aspects in basketball, whether it's from coaching, whether it's from how players play, how referees referee. That there's things that you just can't get away with. It's called the evolution of the game. And listen, thank God that stuff like that are no longer in, because that was just a disruption to the game when the referees just kind of just made it about themselves during Rasheed Wallace games. You understand? And honestly, we still don't remember any of these referees' names, and they were trying their hardest to do the most. Oh, listen, Tears. I have gone on record to say that I honestly believe, based off the skill sets that they had already, and you put them in today's game, right? Based off how they played, Rasheed Wallace probably would have been the best player in this league. Like, I keep saying that. He definitely would have been the best power forward ever. If he was in today's game, he would have went down as the best power forward ever. Because they could barely guard him then. In the post, at 18 feet, 20 feet, 24 feet, 3-point line. On ball defense, help defense, defensive anchor. Jesus. Man, talking about on court leader, best, good friend, like ride or die. Yo, say it again. They want me to say it with my chest. Rasheed Wallace, hands down one of my favorite basketball players of all time. What did I just put you guys? I think I just lost my Podbean feed for half a second. Did I lose Podbean? I think I just lost Podbean. Yes, I did. Did I get you guys back? Yeah, I did. My bad. Lost you for half a second there. Yeah, Rasheed Wallace was definitely my favorite. Is like one of my favorite players of all time, and he's one of those players that if I put them in, it's funny though. I think we had this conversation in the last season. That is one of the people. I think if we put them in today's league, he is so completely dominant as an all around player. It's hard to stop. Right? You think what you see from Joel Embiid and what you see from Jokic. You think that's impressive? No, contraire, mon frere. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. Rasheed Wallace would put up a triple double basically every single game, and he may get a couple quadruple doubles just based off his defense. Oh my God! Actually, you know what? Speaking of, a perfect example. Yeah, the average person may not have watched this Knicks game today, right? But the Knicks just finished playing the Orlando Magic. Did y'all see Ball today? Now, Ball is one of my sleeper players, and I'm gonna tell you this, right? Ball. I don't know if you guys like play games, right? Play video games. I like to play 2K. I don't just play 2K. I'm financially invested into 2K. TTWO is the stock symbol for 2K. Go ahead and invest into it. Their stocks are always growing. I invested into them when they were like $30 a share, right? But when I play 2K, Ball is one of those players. One of the first players I always go and ask for a trade for. I'm sorry, I like size and I like shooting. Pause. All right. When it comes to basketball playing, like I like a center that's versatile. And Ball is one of those low-key skilled players. You put him on your team. If you manage his minutes right, whether he's coming off the bench or he starts. If he starts, he becomes defensive player of the year. If he comes off the bench, he becomes sixth man of the year. He ends up becoming that good because he averages about 5 blocks per game. I see you, Tiff. I'm sorry. You guys got to be in this conversation in podbean. I'm sorry. I'm not going to repeat to you guys what's said. You guys just got to be there. Some things you have to say it. You have to see it. Oh man. No, but Ball is definitely one of those individuals that I always go out and get. And then right after that, I generally go out and get Carmelo Anthony because I want him to get a ring. And then I try to get a point guard. It never usually works. Now I don't need a point guard. I start off with Ball. And can you imagine a team that when you put Ball at power forward next to Mitchell Robinson, it becomes insane. You average like 15 blocks a game. You understand the kind of lackadaisical defense you could play on the perimeter, and it's like, and just know that I can let these guys fly by. It's about to get blocked or challenged or just missed, and we getting the rebound and we running. Ball, and you know what's funny? When I'm talking about Ball from is a taller topping. I think he may have more ball handles than Toppin at this current time. But I mean, I'm an energy guy right now. Yeah, that's probably how he's got to play right now. He has to show a team that he's worth it because just last week he was, if I'm not mistaken, just last week he was either in the G League or I know we're only on the third game of the league, right? But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was officially with the Orlando Magic when the season started. If I'm not mistaken, I could have swore he was bona fide signed to be a G League player, and then somebody saw him balling in the G League. It was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and bring him up. Let's go ahead and see what happens. No, you know what? You're wrong, but you're right. Tiz. You're wrong that Ball wasn't on the Celtics, but the person I'm thinking about actually was on the Celtics. I'm thinking about Taco Falls actually. I'm thinking about Taco Falls is in the G League currently. That too was just in the G League and is not on anybody's roster. So in a way, yeah, you helped me finish. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But yeah, ball. Like I'm sorry, he's just one of those anomalies. Like for a couple of years now, like I've been waiting to see if based off of just video game, just out of based off video game interest. For a couple of years now, I've been waiting to see if he's ever gonna get a real chance in the NBA on a team to see what he can do because players are out here. You have centers out here making an NBA living on just rebounds and block shots. Well, ball can give you rebounds, block shots, and 3-pointers. And it's not like, oh, he's so light in the pants. I'm sorry. Most centers right now are just about 220, 230. When they bulk up, they're 245. 245. Patrick Ewing was eating 245 pounds for breakfast. Do I have to pause that one? Do I have to pause on that one too? Nah, because he could be eating a 245-pound woman. Okay. And you're right, it is about consistency. It is have to be consistency about ball. So let's just hope that he gets consistent play. I think that's what's missing from him is him getting consistent opportunity. He needs an honest chance. And what I mean by an honest chance, he needs a chance where he's allowed to fail a little. Like as a Knicks fan, we saw how that changed Obi Toppin's game. Like completely. Which is crazy because oh my god, I couldn't tell you how much of my time I spent the first year of Obi Toppin's rookie year fighting with Knicks fans, telling them, no, he has a 3-point shot. I don't know where it's at right now, but he has it. He had one in college. He had one for a while. Something's going on. He's just in a funk. And you saw immediately, Reddish too. You see it with Reddish this year. You saw it with Obi Toppin at the end of last year, and you're seeing it even more this year. And you're seeing it too from Reddish this year. The confidence matters. Where I don't got to worry about if I mess up a little bit, if I make one little turnover, if I miss one little assignment, if my man scores if my man scores a 3-pointer on me, Tibbs is gonna pull me out because you see, I know we've said this before, right? Or I know this has been said before because I have a little thing on everybody. I know this has been said before in the past. But I feel that right now is probably when it's most truest. The New York Knicks right now more than any other time, they need a star go-to player. They need a bona fide top 7 player in the league right now. Like this team right now, that is really all you're gonna see it. I love this. I love what I'm seeing. I love what I'm seeing. What we still have and what we have had for the last 3 years is still a remix of Tom Thibodeau's Chicago Bulls when he had Derrick Rose. So basically, it's the Chicago Bulls of old, but we have the old Derrick Rose. Like it's still kind of the same thing. It's a lot of the same components, a lot of the same makeup, a lot of the same ingredients to make up the team. This team still needs. They can't all be Jeremy. This team, I think more than ever right now. Before, it may have been a little premature. It may have been not the right time. A lot of times they wanted that star player so that they can spark something, right? So they can build the foundation around, try to attract other players. No, none of that. I don't care who you attract, right? You don't have to attract anybody else. This current Knicks team needs that's the thing. Who would you pick to be that star? I don't know. And I know I said top 7, right? So I don't know, and I've probably had this name here for a while. I don't know if he's top. I know he's not top 7, but I think he'll fit. I think they need a guy like. I think they need at minimum Bradley Beal. I think he's the guy they need. They need because whoever they need, it kind of needs to be either in that shooting guard position, or maybe the power forward center, or maybe that power forward position, right? But let's say every other position is solid except for shooting guard. Like, because Evan Fournier isn't it. And if I'm not mistaken, Evan Fournier has a last name that you should look up. You're gonna get a kick out of it. Fournier. I think it's French for something that's gonna be very funny to you guys. Don't forget to listen to the MyT Sports Podcast. Right, like this is an intoxication. This is an intoxicated area. Get your drinks ready. Go pour yourself up a nice little drink. Crack your beer open. Light up your spit. Smoke. Pack your bowl. Let's enjoy this tonight. It's Monday night. No, nobody likes Mondays, but everybody, listen. When you hear the MyT Sports Podcast, you gotta at least enjoy Monday night. We had football. We had Knicks. If your team just won, you get some squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em. If you ever need a recharge with your squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, squeak, squeak 'em, don't forget that we have Blue Chew for you. Want to know what Blue Chew is? Blue Chew is just a little blue pill, folks, that get you back your thrill. All you have to do is open up a pack and head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. Blue Chew has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so trust me when I say this is one opportunity that you just can't miss. For a very low cost, you can beat it up like a boss, and she will love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. And if you use my promo code, this week's promo code of QSJS, that's Quebec Sierra Juliet Sierra, you can get your first order of Blue Chew for free. Yep, go to bluechew.com and use promo code QSJS and get your first order for free. That's the free for free. We got this dunks brought to you by Blue Chew. I like you, Tears. You're okay with me. You're okay in the MyT books, for real. Let's say the only thing you gotta do is pay for shipping and handling. Blue Chew. It's two directions. You chew it and you do it. And then you do it. And you do it and you do it and then you're doing it well. We talking about LL Cool J style. We talking about licking of the lips and everything. We talking about pink cookies in a plastic bag being crushed by buildings kind of thing. You understand? We're talking about it's something like a phenomenon kind of thing. We're talking about mama said knock you out kind of thing. Leave you in stitches kind of thing. Exactly. We're talking about Sharknado being chased by sharks kind of thing. We're talking about LL Cool J and Anaconda with J-Lo kind of thing. Blue Chew. All right, let's get back into it. RJ, I think, is struggling a little bit, right? But he's getting into his pace. And as I'm seeing, and maybe it's because I'm watching how RJ's a solid dude, right? If RJ gets to the DeMar DeRozan pinnacle, that will be the accomplishment right now. But also you have to understand, even the DeMar DeRozan route, right, or pinnacle, is a slow route. Like, by the time you notice it, you was like, oh, damn, DeMar DeRozan is kind of good. I think that's what's going to happen with RJ Barrett. We're going to look and be like, oh, he's kind of good. But not that dude. And you guys know what I mean, right? After this fight, I would say that he had that Mamba mentality. Is that what we need to call it right now? He doesn't have that Mamba mentality. And you're right, RJ does definitely need a bit of mid-range game. I think it's something that he is working on. I thought he was working on it last year. I don't see so much of it this year. You see it kind of convert early on to the analytical portion of it, where it has a little D'Antoni in there, right? If it's not a 3-point shot, it's a layup, which is kind of how all of the league has converted to. If it's not a 3-point shot, it's a layup. But the good thing about Tom Thibodeau teams, right, is that because they play defense, a lot of those layups are because of fast break, or because of transition offense and fast break offense. This is why I also believe, as we talk about Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin, I think those two guys, as I'm watching this Knicks team, those two guys' growth will probably be the two biggest things that we need. Those two guys is a mismatch at 6'8", 6'9", running like gazelles up and down the court. throwing oops to each other, playing defense, getting their hands in the passing lane, deflecting balls. Like those two guys in transition, if you've been watching that lately, it has been a thing of beauty. And that's gonna be some of the big. That's gonna be the big spark to the bench. You have Derrick Rose running that offense with them. You have Obi Toppin and Cam Reddish flying high all over the place. When you get Quentin Grimes back, he's gonna be the one. He's gonna be the one common presence there. Always playing good defense on that perimeter player, but doesn't need to fly all over the place. He's just sitting in a corner somewhere trying to get his Bruce Bowen on. And then you got Sims, who basically is just a light-skinned Mitchell Robinson. And looked about just as experienced and as raw as Mitchell Robinson looked in his second year in the league as well. You understand, like there's so many, and I want Reddish to be that. He needs to. He definitely does. You know what though? It looks like he's on that path this year. Last year, he was kind of skittish. He was inconsistent. But so was Obi. And as we mentioned earlier, early on, I see the change in both of them. One, you saw Obi Toppin get that last year at the end of the season when Julius Randle was out and he was just able to play freely. He's looking like that Obi Toppin this year. But also, Cam Reddish is looking like the Cam that was in college, the Cam that had some good games in Atlanta and I was wondering how the hell they let him go. And Cam is actually looking like, you know what? He can actually probably play a lot like Obi from the small forward position. Now imagine this. You move him up to the power forward position. Obi Toppin runs center a couple of times. You still got RJ running the three. You got a pretty athletic squad that you could run up and down that court with. Oh man. Okay, I gotta read this out loud. He said Robinson signed with the Warriors in his NBA 2K career and ended up having Andre Drummond signing with the Knicks. Surprisingly fit right in. I can see that because Andre Drummond, he's just kind of like a fatter or a heavier set Mitchell Robinson. And if you just talk about a video game, you basically kind of just use them the same way. Block shots, grab rebounds, make outlet plays, run pick and rolls. Like you don't have to worry about dumping it in them and having them make any post plays. No, yeah, I can definitely see how he works. I'm telling you guys, go out. If you got 2K, go out and get ball now. It's gonna change your big man life. I gotta find a way to describe the efficiency of ball in 2K or in real life. It just doesn't sound right now. But go out and drive ball. That's my secret to you. I'm gonna tell you how long I've been doing this with ball. At one point in time, I had Kristaps Porzingis and ball in the same squad. That was a nightmare. He is because Kristaps Porzingis was a cheat code in 2K early on. Those two were the best because they can never. When you have both of them at power forward and center, you can never get double teamed. That center is never coming to help. The moment he does, you make him pay. That power forward never comes to help. The moment they do, you make him pay. When in this version of 2K, when you have Mitchell Robinson, his man always comes over to help. And Mitchell Robinson is always at the 3-point line just doing something. I don't know if he's talking to fans, having a smoothie, you know what I mean? Like fixing his jock strap. He's just chilling. I'm like, what are we doing over there? Cut to the lane. Cut for me. Cut. Ball is that cheat code. I'm telling you, he will change your 2K life. If I've never given you any good piece of 2K advice, go ahead and get yourself ball. And then you tag Ronnie 2K and you tell him I sent you. Also, don't forget what I said earlier about 2K. You guys make sure you go and invest in some 2K stock. If you guys are out here playing 2K, right, the amount of money that you're playing for that limited edition pack is the amount that you could be paying for one stock of 2K. Just to let you know. So go out and invest in it, right? If you have the right investment vehicle, you could probably buy some partial shares. So go and invest. TTWO, Take Two Interactive is where 2K is at. If you need some added incentive about buying it, Take Two Interactive also owns Grand Theft Auto as well. They're the same company, or they're the same bed. So think Mafia, think what is that? What is that game? Borderlands. Like that's all those two. Anything you see with that 2K on it, that's just not just them, but also like I said, the people that do the Grand Theft Auto. Take Two Interactive. Go invest in it. It'll be worth it. I don't go out my way to tell you to go invest in certain stocks often. And remember, investments are long term things, right? I'm not telling you like, oh, go invest in this and in 30 days you're gonna quadruple your money. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is that if you have a portfolio, if you buy stocks for long term gain, add that into your portfolio. You know, stuff like Big Five Sporting Goods, add that into your portfolio. That's another one I'll tell you to go out and get. They're one of those sleeper sporting good companies, right? Like one of the top, I think like one of the top five in the nation, and most people barely even know about them. I think it's top three, but I'm saying top five to be safe. And I don't think that Take Two Interactive gives dividends, but I know definitely Big Five does, and they're definitely worth it. Sorry, I told you. I keep telling you guys, this is a life podcast that revolves around sports. Baseball is my first love, so I'll go left field any moment in time. Did I already mention that the Yankees got swept? I just had to rip that Band-Aid off. And it's the fact that they got swept by the arch nemesis, the new arch nemesis, right? Like I feel like the Boston, whatever they are, or the hated rivals. But now these Houston Astros, these new arch nemesis, right? It's like once they cheated to win, like they got the muscle memory for it, and they just have our number, and it's not good. The error in the third game was the killer. That was probably at that point the error and home run. It was really at that moment exactly where you kind of knew it was done, because that was something that really doesn't generally happen with. Oh, the Miami Heat are playing. I can't get Miami Heat games. Damn it. Brooklyn and Memphis tonight? Hold on, talk nice to me, baby. Is that tonight? I will take Brooklyn and Memphis to end my night. Oh, yeah. That's happening tonight. That is definitely happening tonight. Oh, yeah. We're going to get some good basketball today, because these are one of those games I win regardless of who wins. Unlike what happened with the Yankees. It's the sweep that hurts. It's the sweep that hurts. Third game was bad. The third game and that error Aaron Judge made, they just don't make plays like that. Like once that happened, you kind of realized the writing was on the wall that if this is what's going to happen, then we have absolutely no chance. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought there was a chance. Like, call me optimistic, whatever. I thought we had a chance. I thought we had a swingers chance. But also, as the season dwindled, right, and came close to ending, the Yankees also, to me, stopped doing the things that I was impressed with earlier in the year, right? Early in the year, I thought they did a lot more base hitting. They attempted a lot more stolen bases, right? That they played to put the ball in play a lot more in the first half of the season. And in the second half of the season, it's like, you know what? We got this, and it started going for dingers all the time. It was like they converted back into the ways that wasn't successful baseball. I don't know if they converted back to that or based off of what pitchers were doing, that they just kind of fell back into it, but we all know what happened. They fell back into their muscle memory was to just go out and keep swinging for fences. Let's not care about contact. And then it also sucks too that when the season could have been extended, Aaron Judge, the face of the Yankees, is the person that's up. And what does he do? He grounds out. Listen, if they went ham to get Judge's record, and then they all took a massive sigh of relief and let the foot off their gas at that particular moment, then you know what? They shot themselves in the own foot. They cheddar bombed them damn selves. If I call Plexico, ask him how it's done, right? But that shit ain't fun. Because it was what got them the record up to that point was, if that was the case, it was exactly how they were playing. And it was like, oh, now we can breathe because you have the record. Like, no, you can't breathe. You need to continue to play the way that you were playing because that was when you were your most dominant. Listen, do I think it hurts? Does it hurt more than being a Mets fan right now? Right? Maybe this is a coping mechanism for me. My apologies. That you're in first place for 175 games and you blow it in the last week and then you lose in the first round. That doesn't feel that bad, no, but it's pretty damn shitty. Especially when you lose to the Astros. Aaron Judge doesn't come in, but in a key moment. Now, and then his contract is still up in the air. Don't know what's gonna happen there. I don't like how Stan Brunner Jr. is handling the money. Like all these kids like come around, they don't understand how their pops did this. It's a cutthroat business. Stop playing with us. We want winners. I had to get it off my chest because at some point in time I was gonna have to talk about the Yankees, and I couldn't avoid it. I just couldn't keep sitting here and avoiding it because it's gonna get better, right? While the Yankees trying to ruin what was a celebratory weekend for New York sports, like it's not gonna stick, right? We're gonna let this one brush by. We're gonna wait until we hear about what happens with Aaron Judge's contract before we have our next outburst of emotion. Because until then, we're just kind of in a dark room. It's like we're just waiting. Because this can either get way worse, or we can get a lollipop and say, you know what, things aren't that bad. Stop crying. Listen, they may need to go ahead and start working on start working through some of these farm systems and see if they can see what they can find. And it's funny because every time they call up somebody to help with injuries, like that person always manages, right, like to be pretty freaking decent, right? Mates have the same problem too a lot of times. I don't want to talk anymore about Yankees. I really don't. I'm gonna sit in my dark corner. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna yum ho rende ko, right? I'm gonna fuck yum some young ho, whatever the fuck it is, right? And I'm gonna wait until the Aaron Judge news drops. That's basically what I'm building up my emotional tolerance for, is to hear the Aaron Judge news. I don't think Yankees fans, I don't know about you guys, I don't want to lose Aaron Judge. I would prefer to keep him. There's not a lot of explanation that needs to go behind it. But I want to keep Aaron Judge. I want to try that new Shaq pizza. I want one of those Shaq Papa John pizzas right now. I must be a fat boy. It's probably because of the joint I had. I just ate dinner before we came on air. I have no reason to want pizza right now, but I do want a whole pizza. You know what? I'm going to have some cheesecake when this podcast is done. they dropped some junior cheesecakes in my local grocery store. So I grabbed me a strawberry cheesecake. I didn't even have to cross no bridges or nothing. I ain't had to walk no miles. Right, it was just right there in the last aisle. As long as it ain't a Bobby Bonilla type contract. You know what? Those Bobby Bonilla contracts, the Magic Johnson contracts, they're not even that bad of a contract. They're not. They're not horrible. I don't mind legacy contracts. Now, granted, Aaron Judge doesn't need a legacy contract. If there was anybody you would probably give a legacy contract to in this modern era of Yankees, it would have been Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter would have been the only person that you probably could have one of maybe three Yankees. You probably could have convinced Yankees fans that you're going to give them some kind of 25-year legacy contract where you're paying them about $1 million to $2.5 million per year. That's nothing. And in the sports world, that's nothing. You're basically giving him you're basically giving him an eighth of hot dog sales for a day. Like you know what? Take my Grizzly money here. I hope you enjoy it. Like so, I don't now, but I agree with you. I hope they shouldn't give him a Bobby Bonilla contract because Aaron Judge doesn't deserve a Bobby Bonilla contract. He does deserve a pretty decent freaking contract. Like pay the man, but I do understand the Yankees fans that say out there, you know what? While I would love to easily say, yo, pay him, give him that 8-year contract, give him that 10-year contract. I'm scared of 10 years. Right? Even though we just saw what he did, I'm scared of 10 years. But there's still a thing about loyalty, about treating your players right. You still want to, don't forget what we have learned from the buses. You take care of your players, right? Don't act like that uncouth bastard that owns the Knicks. You don't want to be him. You don't want to be Jimmy. So pay Aaron Judge. I know what he just did, he earned himself another $150 million on his contract. Give that man his money. Because ultimately, you still want players to come play for the Yankees. See, the thing that the Yankees have over the Knicks, right, is also what the Lakers have over the Knicks. Because the Knicks keep thinking that they're the Yankees and that they're the Lakers. Oh, we're the Knicks. We're in New York. We're the big market team. Team show. No. Lakers and Yankees get like people go there because they're winning franchises, and they're franchises that are about winning, and they're franchises that ultimately take care of their players during and after. No, it still matters now. That winning mentality still matters. Because you still see it. Teams still go to the Knicks. Yeah. The Knicks were able to say that in the 70s and 90s. Right? And they're trying to rebuild that reputation again now. Which is, you know what, as we keep transitioning all over the place. That's all right. That's what we do here, right? I'm hitting the ball all over the place. You just got to keep fielding them. This is why I've said in the past is that in Tom Thibodeau's 4th year, they need to extend him out to 10 years. He currently has a 5-year contract with the Knicks. And even though, listen, I'm going to tell you guys this. I still don't fully believe that Tom Thibodeau is the guy to get the Knicks to a championship. But he is definitely the guy to set a foundation. And New Yorkers like what Tom Thibodeau kind of foundation he builds. We like that gritty-ish. RJ Barrett likes being coached up. So you make New York, you make playing New York like it is playing for New York. It's hard to live there and perform in front of the players and the coach demands a lot from you. But that shouldn't be hard, because you know what? You go down to South Beach, it's the same thing. But South Beach have La Playas and Putas. So, you know, they have that extra added incentive and no taxes. La Playas, Putas, and no taxes. But you're not distracted by the no taxes. La Playas and Putas are very distracting. So I've said this for a while now. You extend them out for 10 years because what it does is that it lets the players know that are there, and any players that come there in the future, Tom Thibodeau is the coach. We're not superseding him. When we come there, we need to fall in line and we need to do as coach says. You understand? You're not going to have some star that comes in there. It's a coach for 1 or 2 years. You see them revolving coaches because you could just get them to change anything that you want. No, let Tom Thibodeau actually establish this. Give him tenure. Empower your head coach. They can't if they leave him as a lame duck coach in that 5th year, they're making a mistake. Now the thing about it, luckily, I don't think that these Knicks have a player on the team that has an attitude, right, or the personality that when Tom Thibodeau is in his last year, that they're going to start going behind his back and making like those sideways shit talking comments. I truly believe that these guys like Tom Thibodeau. While Knicks fans are a lot harder on Tom Thibodeau, right? From a fan standpoint, the players, I think they absolutely love him. And if players don't want to play for Tom Thibodeau, good. Why would you want a player that doesn't want to play hard? Do you want bitch-ass Karl Anthony Towns? Sorry, my apologies. Soft-ass Karl Anthony Towns? Twinkie-filled Karl Anthony Towns? Is that what you want? Because that's the kind of guy that couldn't play for Tom Thibodeau. And you're right. Tears, he is that old school Pat Riley mentality because he's from the Pat Riley tree. And that Pat Riley tree involves the Van Gundys. But you know what? But you know where that Pat Riley tree also comes from? Jerry West. Goes back to the Lakers and that Buck. So listen, anybody that comes from that tree, I'm okay with. You understand? Who I don't want, and I love him to death. Who I don't want is somebody from that Doc Rivers tree. Like they get they linger and don't get enough done. And I know that's a rough thing to say, right? But I have to tell you, I have to say the truth. That Doc Rivers tree doesn't always quite sit right with me. So yeah, so you're 100% right. He does have that Pat Riley mentality because he's from the Pat Riley tree. You forget that Tom Thibodeau was one of the assistant coaches during the Van Gundy and Pat Riley era. So he has their mannerisms. He has their style of practice. You practice hard. You practice harder than anybody else. You practice so hard. Every time you play a game, the games are easy. But that's what practice should be. Practice should be so damn hard. When you do the real thing, you're like, damn. What was I stressing? That's his mentality. And if players can't, but you understand? Let me ask you this. Is there any real basketball fan out here that doesn't love Jimmy Butler? Because that's a Tom Thibodeau guy. Now, let's flip the script. Let's flip the script, right? Flip that coin. How many of you like Karl Anthony Towns? That's not a Tom Thibodeau guy. This Knicks team are all Tom Thibodeau guys so far. We even see Cam. Listen, I don't know what Cam Reddish's mentality was, what his reputation was, what his personality was, but you see the change from last year to this year because he realized what he needed to do to get playing time on this team. A team that has one of his friends, RJ Barrett, on that he would like to be a part of. You see people buying. These guys needed Tom Thibodeau. Let's not forget that. As much as sometimes Tom Thibodeau drives us mad with his lack of adjustments, This squad needed Tom Thibodeau. They did not have a professional in this organization. Now, you understand RJ Barrett and the rest of the squad would have been ruined without Tom Thibodeau. They did not have a professional leading them before Tom Thibodeau. They needed a guy like him just to teach them basketball 101 on the NBA level and how to be a gosh darn professional. That got me not cursing up in here. It's like the opposite for me. You know I'm pissed off when I'm not cursing. I like this new Knicks. I can sit here and do Knicks talk all day long. I like these new Knicks. Like I said, Jalen Brunson, he brings a calmness to this team that they didn't have. He brings a stability. He brings a stableness to this team they didn't have before. You see Julius Randle now because of that. You see him being more patient. You see him making better shot selections. You see him being smarter and more decisive with when he decides to go into bull in a China shot mode. You guys have to remember sometimes that Julius Randle is a student of Kobe. So sometimes he has a weird voice on telling him to go harder at times, right? I'm trying to find a way to justify last year. You see Mitchell Robinson, right? Mitchell Robinson, you see him not relaxing even though he got his contract. Still hungrier than ever. You see him wanting to live up to the praises of his head coach. So I'm telling you, Tom Thibodeau gets through to these guys. He wants to live up to the words of his head coach, the praises of his head coach, where his head coach told him that, and not just told him, came out publicly and said, I think he's the best offensive rebounder in this game, if not the best rebounder, period. You see Mitchell Robinson out here, 5, 6 offensive boards per game right now, while now learning how to stay out of foul trouble. The problem he had his rookie year, his sophomore year. And then he got a professional in the room with him. But not just a professional in Tom Thibodeau. People understand, like the Julius reminds me of the Beanie, if Beanie Siegel decided to play. Now he's escalated all day. He's escalated. He's escalated all day. Or maybe escalated Zion. Who's more escalated, Zion Williamson or Julius Randle, or Zion Williamson taking over the Escalade title? Like if we had to treat the Escalade title like it was the big, like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle World Trophy. Like, is he coming for his spot? Get down or lay down. Hey, that's what. Hey. Speaking of these little bulls in a China shop, Bonchero tonight. I'm telling you, man, Orlando isn't that far away. Orlando needs the Tom Thibodeau treatment. I'm not lying to you. Orlando needs that Tom Thibodeau treatment. They need a professional coach, but not this professional coach that's going to hold them accountable. A professional coach that has guys, has vets that he can also bring in and help these young guys learn the game of basketball better. Learn how to be better off court, how to be better on court, how to train, how to recoup, right? How to stay out of the media, because that's something that Charlotte needs too. But let's stick with Orlando before we even mention Charlotte, right? This Orlando team probably can use that as well. A professional coach, right? Somebody that holds them accountable, because they have the guys. You see, they still need to have the guys for it, right? But also a couple of vets on that squad that can help them transition into better ball. They have Celtics former head coach. You talking about Ime when he returns? Is that who we talking about? They can use an Ime. You are right. They could probably use an Ime. Like somebody like him. I don't know whose Ime's vets are, but he could probably find a couple in Portland, maybe. Who knows? But that's what Ime. That's the reason why you understand that Tom Thibodeau bringing in bringing in Taj Gibson, right? He already bought in Derrick Rose. That was the first part of it, right? But bringing in guys like Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel, right? Those guys were just vets, right? Granted, he ended up giving him a lot more minutes than he needed to because it probably was part of the handshake deal. Hey, come in here. I need you to help me with this young team. But listen, I'm gonna give you guys the minutes. You show me what you got, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna get you the minutes that you need to play. And we gonna get you guys paid again. And we have to move on after that. We move on. I guarantee you, there was something to that rhetoric, right? Somewhere that verbiage, somewhere along those lines. Like how can he not reward his vets that was doing better than this young squad when he also asked them to come here and help his team out, to help him be a part of helping right this ship and get it back steering right. And that's exactly what those guys did. Kimber Walker for one more year. These were just things to help with the professionalism. You see how much they talk about Derrick Rose. You see how much in that 1 year they talked about Kimber Walker. When Kimber Walker was being benched, you see how they talked about how they were watching him. You see how they talked about how he handled himself. These guys are now no longer selfish guys. You tell me right now if you think the New York Knicks have one selfish player on their team outside of Julius Randle. And even him, he's kind of winning you over by how he's been playing these last 3 days. You name me the one guy. That's not just because they didn't get a whole bunch of unselfish guys. They also built an unselfish roster through unselfish vets and a coach that demanded professionalism from them. And then he brought in guys to show them. See, people have this misconception that players don't want to be coached up. I think it's just a line that old heads just like to say during every generation. Oh, these guys today, they don't really like to be coached. No, they don't like to be coached the way that you grew up being coached. Who the fuck wants to be put in a goddamn full Nelson just because they missed a layup? Hey, fuck out of here. Now, granted, it did help build character, but my spine ain't been the same since. Like, it's so funny. Like, we complain about, these guys don't want to be coached. But we always change the way they're being coached because even we can see that it's too archaic. We don't have coaches throwing chairs anymore. You don't got them being hemmed up. Exactly. When's the last time we got coaches out here being Bobby Knighted? But I'm gonna tell you what's as close to a Bobby Knight, Tom Thibodeau. Without throwing a chair. Without putting his hands on them. Just holding them accountable and working them hard. And if you're not gonna play defense and do what I say, you won't play. And they see that. I like me some Tom Thibodeau. Listen. I want you guys to remember what I said about Tom Thibodeau today. More than anything. Because this is my true feelings about Tom Thibodeau. He may frustrate me as the year goes on. And you may hear me say some off-putting things about Tom. Just anytime you hear me cussing Tom out in the future, remember today that these are my true overall feelings about Tom Thibodeau. But he's going to piss me off in the future. I'm going to have to cuss him out. And that doesn't mean I won't cuss him out. But, Greg Popovich is the same way. You're right. And even Greg Popovich, as an older coach, had to switch up his methods. Not to say that he had this. Actually, not to say that he didn't have this cheer throwing mentality about him, but he's also the same guy that couldn't deal with a Dennis Rodman. He didn't know how to deal with a Dennis Rodman, or refused to deal with a Dennis Rodman back then. Now he would love to have a Dennis Rodman because he would see the talent that Dennis Rodman has and try to do everything to draw that out of him and make him as great of a player as he can. So players like to be coached hard. You no longer have to choke them out, throw cheers, and cuss and spit in their face, and you could probably still cuss at them and probably spit on them every once in a while. You just have to find a way to have balance. That's all it's all about. It's all about balance. Listen, man, we I told you I'll sit here and talk Knicks all day, but let's roll up and roll out. Let's move forward. Let me tell you what. You guys mind? I want to step back a little bit, right? I want to reset my sports palette, and I'm gonna take a little step back. I had a good weekend. Like, how was you guys this weekend? It's Monday. I know you guys probably couldn't wait to get off today. Like, man, Monday. Can I tell you, Monday's a mentality. Monday's a weird mentality. I remember when I didn't work on Wednesdays, right? And all I did was work on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays and Friday, 10-hour shifts, right? Mondays didn't seem that bad because I knew tomorrow was after tomorrow I had a day off. You know? So on this Monday, right? Let's you mind if I just step back? I'm gonna reset my palate. Let's get into a little bit of what they call the tea of the weekend. What's going on, G? Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Let's get into a little tea of the weekend. Now, since the beginning of this season, we've been promoting an art event called In Art We Lust 3. Right, we're doing a raffle at it every single Wednesday at Sharky's. Because of that, actually, we're actually going to continue to also have raffles at Sharky's as well. We have our next raffle prize coming up pretty soon. We'll talk about that much later. As you guys can see, the shirt that I have on right now is actually from In Art We Lust 3. It was an all-female immersive event, and it was wonderful. Right? Once you win it, like, seriously big up. Serious big up. Congratulations. It was fun. The coordinator for that event, right? Nikki Dyken, right? We was trying to get her on the show for weeks, right? But she had 2 shows opening that weekend. She had another show opening the weekend. I'm getting prepared for it. We didn't get opportunity to get her onto the on the podcast, right? But the moment you got there, what's going on, Tears? I see you there too. Appreciate you. The moment you walked into the event, and this is at the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, you were immediately transported into another world, right? Not just because of the art, but because of the decorations, the lighting, the music, the entire ambiance. It automatically transformed you. And I had the opportunity to talk to some of these vendors, right? To some of these artists. My apologies. And it was a really amazing opportunity to get a chance to pick their brain. For a lot of them, it was their first time ever displaying their work. And as they're displaying their work, the nervousness that they had, right, was so. That's the word. It was cute, right? It was really cute, right? And I don't know if cute is the word you should be using, but it was cute to me. I was like, oh, look at them, like, because you get it, right? You get the nervousness, but at the same time, you look at their work and you say to yourself, you have no reason. They have no reason to be nervous. But as the creator, right, you never know. Like, you're always doubting how well your work is, or how somebody's going to perceive your work, how somebody's going to receive your work. If they're going to like it as much as you like it, or see the little hidden details and gems in it that you put in there. So I can understand the nervousness, but man, we get an opportunity to not just see all their work, but also get an opportunity to talk to a lot of them. I'm mad I didn't get up more interviews on camera for you guys. But you could easily say, I want to say 95% of the artists there, it was their first time displaying their event or displaying their work, and they were able to get their work sold. They were able to get their work seen. They were able to get their pages followed. They were able to give out pricing. They were able to book possibly future events and also future sales. It was everything that you needed it to be. Liquor was good. It was nice. It was nice and it was flowing. The director, she looked amazing. She looked, absolutely amazing, astonishing, awe-inspiring. We're talking about great googly moogly eyes are popping out the head just doing that. But she always looks amazing though. She always carries herself with this sexy elegance. Like, god damn. Sorry. I drifted away for a second. Like she's kind of amazing, right? But it wasn't just that night, right? So she organized and directed, set up with the vendors, and put on that whole entire In Art We Lust 3 show, right? Got everything squared away. That same night, she had another show opening up called Young Frankenstein. That for obvious reasons she couldn't be there for, but she was she choreographed that show. And that show, Young Frankenstein, that was amazing. I've never seen Young Frankenstein, right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is. I've never seen Young Frankenstein before. I was all in it, and I'm one of those weirdos, right? When if I go to a play, there are times where I may not be watching the stage, depending on what I notice in certain areas. So if you have one of those, like, what are they called? One of those upper, like, walkways or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a good amount of time watching up there. If you have other areas like in the balconies where people come and go or things get set up, I'll spend an amount of time staring at that for a minute, just to see like what's coming up, what's going through there. Watch what some of the stagehands are doing to see how they're prepping for the scene. Like, I'm one of those weirdos, right? I don't just watch the action in front of me. I start looking for like the behind the scenes people and the stagehands. I start thinking about what they're doing as well, because not to so much anticipate what's going on. I want to see what goes into making that scene successful, making that scene pop, making the scene. Period. I want to see. I'm curious. I'm curious about the process. Right. Shout out to the 76ers. And this is one of those shows again. I'm watching everything around. Now, that'd be one of those shows where majority of the action happened to be right in front of you. So it was in this particular show, the different body movements, right? Based off of certain characters when they stood out, different characters' facial expression. This was their third airing of the show, right? Or the third time they performed the show. So they did one on Friday night, one Saturday morning, and we went to the Saturday night show. And I was lucky enough that the choreographer, Nikki, she invited me out to come see the show, right? Call it a date if you must. But she invited me out to go see the show, and I'm sitting behind her, and I do that any normal person should do. If you know somebody that's involved in the show, choreographed, directed it, whatever, acted, right? If you feel some type of way about them, then you bring them a bouquet of flowers. I happened to find out what her favorite flowers were, and I brought her, and I brought her a bouquet of her favorite flowers. It made me late, just to let you guys know. because I had to wrap it myself. I created the bouquet myself. Well, like went and got the cellophane. They did the whole wrap it of the thing, put a bow on it, got some glittery string, tied it up. Yeah, I like it's the effort. They like yo, show you the half effort detail of this monstrosity of a great idea. And it's always interesting watching a show through your own untrained eyes, but also getting the opportunity to watch it through one of the creator's professional eyes as well. Again, because you're part of the process, it's maddening. You know every little thing that's wrong. You know every little misstep, every miscue, every prop that is out of place, every lighting that's too light, that's too dim, um, microphone inflection. You see it all. The untrained person doesn't see that. Me, I saw a great show. Obviously, others that were involved in the show, they see things that only see things that need to be worked on. Great, you're professionals. That's what you're supposed to do. Glad you have that quality. And they're supposed to have that quality. That's what makes them great in their own space. And she is great in her own space. She is definitely great in her own space. Because if I remember correctly, there's already she already has another show in the making as well, and we'll give you guys that information. We'll let you know. We'll let you know when that show is going to take place, where you'll be able to buy tickets. We'll see if maybe we go ahead and add that, depending on when that show is. We may add that to our all women's fantasy football prize pool. And so that thing happens anytime after January. We may add that to those prizes. And so one of you ladies could be able to, if you guys win, one of you ladies win, I should say, you'll be able to go and check out her next play as well. And then maybe you could come on the air and we could discuss exactly on how you felt about it and see if there's anything different. Because I wanted to go eat with the cast afterwards. That was the other beautiful thing, right? Like I saw an amazing show. There was one person that stole the show from me. And it's crazy because I don't remember it. I don't remember the person's name or the. You know what? Hold on. I have the playbill right here. It's because she had to do a fill-in. I may not have her name then. She had to fill in for somebody. Is it Sarah? Yes, Sarah. I think that's her. She filled in for a role, and because somebody was sick. And the job that she did on that short notice was incredible. And to me, she stole the show, right? Because I call her the improv queen. Because she was on such short notice, she obviously didn't remember all of those lines because it was lines that she wasn't prepared for, right? She's the stand-in for that role. I guess she should have known the lines, but I guess she knew it as much as she could. But she's a stand-in for that role, and her facial expressions sold the character. When she had to read from the cards, right? She improv and worked it in so masterfully that in one of the scenes, she says, "I'm supposed to have this card in my hand." And I was really trying to, and I really couldn't determine if she was supposed to have that card in her hand or not. and the whole entire audience at this point in time had known that, okay, there's a couple of scenes in here that she may not have known. I don't know if everybody knew her particular situation that she had just filled in on that role, but even whether you knew or you didn't, the way that she performed or added it in there, right? Her not knowing it and having to read the cards as if it was its own prop. Beautiful. Beautiful. I know there's a chef's kiss. I don't know if there's an actor's kiss, but I'm giving the actor's kiss to the chef's kiss. Beautiful. Beautiful. It was masterful. I'm telling you, stole the show. Stole the show. There was points in time because of that. When she was on the stage, I couldn't draw my eyes off of her because I just wanted to see how she was going to maneuver through each scene. Listen, if you guys are in the, let me see if I still have the information for this one. But if you guys are in the local area still, right? Or listening in the local area, you guys have to go and see Young Frankenstein. You guys have to make sure that you guys get down there. It is at, let's see, did I have it loaded? Do I have it loaded? I do not have the information loaded. I thought I had it preloaded here. You know what, Instagram? I always do this to you. I apologize, but you're going to lose me again because I need to go ahead and get, did I store this? I hope I made it a favorite. I didn't even make it a favorite. Because I've had to search for this thing about 50 different times today. Right? Not today, over the last weekend. And you would have thought that I would have learned my lesson, right? And maybe made it a favorite or something so I could easily find it. But, okay, so this show's at Willow's Theater at Sugar Sand Park. That's at 300 South Military Trail in Boca Raton, Florida, 3348. I can't read that last number. It's cut off. But to get your tickets, right, in advance, call 561-347-3948. Reserve your tickets today. Go see Young Frankenstein. It is worth it. I'm telling you right now. Go grab. Now, it does have some adult humor in it, right? So I don't know if this is something that you may want to bring the kids to, if they can fully understand, if they're starting to understand adult humor and you're not ready to have them exposed to some light adult humor. But it does have some very funny adult humor in there, right? So definitely go check it out again. That's at Willow's Theater at Sandal Park. That's at 300 South Military Trail, Boca Raton, Florida. You can call the box office at 561-347-3948 to reserve your tickets today. The show will be running from October 21st to October 30th, so you still have 6 more days that you can go out and see that show. And trust me when I say you're going to want to see it. It is worth it. It's funny, it's witty, it's great dance scenes. I was hanging out with the crew afterwards. One of the main actresses, right, or maybe the main actress, I didn't even know was sitting with us. That's how completely she transformed, like from actress to regular person. I think the next show Nikki Dyken is doing is Footloose. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If Footloose is after the football season, ladies, you are definitely gonna get a ticket or two to Footloose. All right, listen, I already know that if I gave any of you ladies Footloose on DVD, you go crazy. So I'm gonna give you a Footloose the musical and have you go bananas. Your boyfriends can thank me later about you going bananas. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get you. I think it's Footloose. I think I'm remembering this conversation now. 100%. I think it was Footloose. But that was my weekend. That was my Friday. That was my Saturday. That's usually why we have a podcast Friday because we had to go to In Art We Lust 3. And then, like I said, Friday turned straight into Saturday. Birthday parties, plays, etc., etc., etc. All right. Yeah, this was the playbill for Young Frankenstein. Let me show you guys this. So here you go. Guys, take a quick look. And you know what? Did I have this information right here in front of me in the playbill? Because if I did, I'm gonna be really upset with myself. If I okay, I didn't. Good. I did not have that information I was looking for in front of me. Still good? Still good? Okay. I'm not a complete jackass. Whew. Man, I need to quit smoking or drinking or something. Is what I was gonna have to say if that information was on that book and I had it in my hands the whole entire time and I was looking for it on my phone. Let's definitely give them a call. Go see that show. Go see that show. I'm really happy I got the opportunity to see that show. Right? I really feel blessed that I got that opportunity to go see that show. And then this weekend coming up, I gotta go to Orlando to go see the show by one of my cousins, that one that she's directed. So I'm just drowning in the arts right now. Listen, and there's only a few things I like being drowned in, and the arts is definitely one of like my top 5, 3. I think you guys know. I think you guys know the first 2. I don't have to say it. I think I've derailed enough, right? I think I've reset that palette enough. You guys ready to roll up and roll on? Let's roll up and roll out. Memphis over Brooklyn right now, 46-38. Since we managed to talk Yankees and we managed to talk Knicks, I think you guys have an idea of where today's podcast may be leading to. And guys, make sure you're there for Wednesday's podcast, live at Sharky's. Don't you guys forget, folks, we do the Brady Sports Podcast live every Wednesday night from Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. to 11:07 p.m. We have DJ Scepter in the mix at 10 p.m. Ladies drink free from 9 to 10 p.m. Half off from 10 to 12 p.m. In the business discount 15% off. Veterans discount 15% off. And of course, we're going to have the MyT trivia where you can win yourself a nice little doobie prize. Doobie doobie. Oh, baby. Oh, wait, no. Let's talk New York Football Giants. That still gets on my nerves sometimes, but I get it. They used to be a New York baseball team. I get it. But let's talk New York Football Giants as they went trampling all over these Jaguars. Now, I'm not gonna act like they blew them out. You know what? Let's back up a little bit. I think we had a couple of notable injuries we want to get out the way first, don't we?
The MyT injury report.
I see. I think I know why I started with the Giants now. We're still going to stick with the Giants. New York Football Giants. Giant Nation, stand up. Giants fans, stand. I know you guys are happy. It's okay that nobody saw this coming. It wasn't hate. It wasn't doubt. Honestly, nobody saw this coming. Listen, it's just like, put it this way. Actually, I'm going to tell you this. It's not hate or doubt that nobody saw this coming. It is hate if people are saying that you guys are not going to make the playoffs. That's hate. It is hate if they say that, oh, what you're doing now isn't sustainable through the rest of the season. That's hate. It's hate if they're sitting back, plotting and praying for your downfall. That's hate. It's okay if they don't believe in you. God did. At least the football gods did. Woo! New York Giants, stand up. Listen, as a New Yorker myself, while Big Blue is not what courses through my veins, at times I do feel your pain, right? So when you do bad, sometimes I go insane. So when you win, I want to see you do the same. Like, I can congratulate you. I have no problem. I'm secure in myself. It's like being able. It's like not. It's like not being able to pass by one of your brethrens, right? I'm not one of your friends. Just any dude and be like, yo, I like that. Yo, I like your fit, B. That shit looks sharp. You should be secure in yourself to be able to compliment another man or another team in your city. Giants really on a threat to me. Why am I beefing with them? Let's set the foundation right now for you people to understand that we go give the Giants some love. The game was a little closer than we would like it to be, but let's not act like Sunshine is not proven to be one of the young ones to come up in this game, and there's a lot of them. You understand? There's not going to be a lot of quarterback positions left pretty soon. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. I don't know if the sentence is coming off my tongue right. There's a lot more good quarterbacks in the league than you realize. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if it's the weed or the beer so far, but one of them is, Dubla Blingata. So I'm looking at these teams, and because Trevor Lawrence, what did he put up? Damn near 400 yards? What was his yardage? Trevor Lawrence put up, hold on, I don't know why I flipped out of that screen, and I could have just crossed over. But Trevor Lawrence puts up 310 yards. Okay. But he was up there. Maybe he wasn't 400, but I want to say that he was in the top 5 in yardage for the quarterbacks this week. So maybe that's what I have in my head. So it's not like Trevor Lawrence wasn't out there gunslinging. The defense just held up. Didn't allow a passing touchdown. Also, didn't quite turn that ball over either through the air. Speaking of turning the ball over through the air, Dolphins fans, I'm gonna let you know this right now. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. You guys got lucky. I still don't know how to evaluate your quarterback. I can't say that, he did good. He threw 4 interceptions that the other team just couldn't catch. He literally threw the ball to the other team 4 times. Not, it was tipped up and this happened. No, hit him in the chest. Like the route was meant for them. Let's go back to the Giants. Just let you guys know that I listen on the Podbean app. We have just about 15 minutes before the Podbean feed is going to need to be reset. Don't you worry, folks. As this feed ends, if you already go and look into the live section, you should already see another MyT live feed already reserved for you guys. We're going to open up that next room, and we'll be able to continue this chat there as well. Everybody else, you'll be hearing our Army commercial. During that time, you know what I'm going to tell you to do. Go use the bathroom, go pour yourself a drink, go roll yourself a bowl real quick, go check on the kids to make sure that they still sound asleep, you know what I mean, whatever you got to do real quick. Go take the trash out, whatever it is. Go do that real quick while we run our commercial. We'll be right back. But that's in 15 minutes from right now. For right now, we still got Giants talk. We still got some big Giants talk. Because the Giants came in there with that big football energy. And they've had that big football energy since about the second week when that coach decided to go for 2. Somebody just got clobbered for the Brooklyn Nets. Right now they're playing 4 and 5 on offense. Player just came back into the. Was that Kyrie? Who's 00? That's not Kyrie. Who is 00 for the Brooklyn Nets? It's not Cam. It's somebody else. I will figure that out later. I figured if I knew who he was, if he mattered more, if he had a larger role on the team, I would know who he was. Let me make sure I say that correctly. I don't want to make it sound like he doesn't matter. But the New York Giants, they tried to beat the Jags like it didn't matter. The game started off rough, and you know what? I think we're at a point where we have to realize that goddamn, these Giant games, they're not gonna look pretty. These Jets games either, right? I can say the same thing about both of them. They're not gonna look pretty. These gonna be slug out games. These are games that hopefully they're close in the first half, and then you see what we're seeing now. You open up the floodgates in the second half, and you shut the team down. Whether you're up or you're down by 3 or a touchdown, that's still close enough for you to play good enough defense that both of these teams have been doing, and still play that and still come away and still not just shut your team, not to shut the opposing team now, but still come away with enough offense to be able to come away with these dubs. Daniel Jones, for the first time this season, puts up over 100 yards. And they needed every bit of those 100 yards to be able to get this victory. Saquon Barkley with another 100 yards. You're seeing this team treat Daniel Jones like the athlete he's advertised to be. I still don't believe it, right? I still quite don't see it. But it's there, and it's a real thing. And you know what? Part of it being there is that this offensive line is looking better. Now they took a blow to their offensive line just recently. So we're gonna that's one of the injuries that we actually need to keep an eye on. I need to get an update on to see. I think it was their right tackle, I think, that went down. So we're gonna get an update on that. We'll let you guys know on Wednesday. Right. So we'll skip the injury report this week. And we'll give you an injury report on Wednesday. And we'll keep an eye on that to find out if this Giants right tackle or not is still in the game, because that's going to be major. He's literally been pulling his weight like all season. He really has, and he has been one of the key. I can't remember who he is. Right, these names are. If I'm not mistaken, he's a rookie. But he's been one of the reasons why the Giants have been able to run the ball as successfully, but also being able to use Daniel Jones as a running option. As you saw, 11 attempts over 100 yards. I think his numbers were. Kyrie Irving with a short shot. Oh, that wasn't Kyrie. Yo, who is this Kyrie looking dude that I'm confusing for Kyrie? This 00 guy. He has got a nice assist. O'Neal. Who the heck is O'Neal? So Daniel Jones gets over 100 yards rushing. Saquon Barkley gets over 100 yards rushing. The New York Giants basically pitch a shutout in the second half to come away with their 23-17 victory. Again, nothing impressive. Daniel Jones 202 yards. The impressive part about Daniel Jones's game is the fact that he had 107 yards on the ground. So that's basically saying that Daniel Jones had 300 all-purpose yards by himself alone. Saquon Barkley had 25 yards receiving as well, bringing him to a nice little 135. Still holding up. I think Giant fans. Actually, you know what? I'll ask the question. Giant fans, I'm not going to answer this question for you. You guys start letting me know. Hit me up in the comments everywhere that you maybe listen to the MyT Sports podcast at. So wherever you're watching live at, whether you're watching live on Twitch, you're watching live on YouTube, you're watching live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Podbean, wherever you may be watching live at, right? Hit me up in the comments. Giants fans, are you still holding your breath every time Saquon Barkley runs? Every time you see Saquon Barkley take a tackle? Or are you now able to relax a little bit And now, have you been able to exhale now with Saquon Barkley? Listen, non-Giants fans, I'm curious about what you think. Because I know you don't have to be a fan of a player to kind of kind of hold your breath every time you see that player run, every time you see that player on the field. I feel like that about Tua got a tongue twister. Right? Every time I saw him run last night, I was like, man, you better watch out. You know you was just asleep last week. You was out here set tripping. You had mothers across America talking about, oh my God, what happened to his hands, baby? So I'm watching Tua got a tongue twister, and I know every time he runs, I'm kind of concerned. Do we still have that same kind of concern with Saquon Barkley? More importantly, as I'm asking everybody around the league that watches football, but Giants fans, do you have that little feel in your gut? Do you have that nervousness in your gut every time Saquon runs, thinking like, man, this could be the one that sets him back again? Or are you confident? Or have you come back from that feeling, thinking like, okay, he looks like he's good again? Because this will be the second year after the initial injury, right? Which I think that we're all learning now that after the first year, after some kind of Achilles or MCL, ACL, PCL, or whatever calf strain, or whatever, that some other part of the leg in one of those areas are going to go as well. It's like 1 year is the MCL, the next year is going to be your Achilles. 1 year is your Achilles, the next year is going to be your ACL. I think we're starting to learn that these guys, while they're coming back bigger, that they're coming back faster than ever, something is kind of off in their rehabilitation, and they're still kind of overcompensated in areas that's causing a second injury within a calendar year or 365 days of their first, of them coming back. Oh, so look at this. So folks, we just got the 2-minute warning for Podbean. So as we said, I think that's gonna be the time right about now. Podbean people, we're gonna lose you guys. Everybody else, you're gonna hear a commercial. But regardless of if you hear a commercial or you lose us through Podbean, we will be right back on both formats. Podbean people, there's another one waiting for you guys. Everybody else, you stick right there, and we'll be back after these messages. Woo woo!
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
And we are back with the Mighty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Talent Taylor, aka Talent El Idolo Deportivo Taylor. Or let me get back in the ring announcing so you guys can call me Talent the Motor Mouth of the South. Taylor. I got a lot of different monikers. I got a lot of hats. I wear a lot of hats. I like these hats. I like these creative hats in my local community, man. It's really a great world to be in that creative world. And constantly, and it doesn't matter whether you're meeting people for television, you're meeting people for radio, you're meeting people for local theater, for choreographing, for directing. It doesn't matter. Like, they're all such great minds to be around and to pick. Like, it really is a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. And I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. Like, my goddaughter, she asked me a question about voting. Like, I had to give her the most, and it's great. And I gave her probably the most unbiased opinion I can ever give. right? And I think some people don't honestly take the opportunity to really help give unbiased opinions to their little people when they get to like that age where they can start making their own opinions. I honestly, really, truly took her through presidencies from I remember it from the first Bush to now. How I felt that each one of them needed to be polarizing in their own ways. I talked to her about a lot of the good that I thought that President Trump did. Right? I told her about the reasons for me voting behind each president that I ever voted for. I told her at least, and even when I started my first voter registration, that I was Democratic and now I'm independent. Right? And that's something that I wish I would have had more, so I had more talk to me about. But she said the reason why she wanted to talk to me was because her family was just kind of like a blue kind of household, like by default, and hearing anything else by certain individuals, um, it kind of drew abrasive conversations for no particular reason, right? Which really isn't the way to go when you're trying to help teach somebody on how to make decisions. So I just gave her the most general thing. I didn't try to put any of my own personal views onto it. Just like on any particular party, I just gave a little history lesson. One, about how each party used to be before the Civil War and what each party became after the Civil War. Like that's part of history that should be known. I told her that don't let them utilize trigger topics, right? Polarizing topics to help try to sway you. And I had to let her know because she's a very holy person. I said you will hear a lot of individuals use religion, but as you can see, as you know, if you already seen, religion is a very polarizing topic. So it helps sway conversation and it helps and it helps them target certain amount of people. And I explained things, and I said, listen, just because even if individuals spiel a certain holy agenda, you should be old enough and wise enough to know that everybody that talks about God is about God, right? So like it was, but I went into much conversation because it does, like, believe it or not, there are lines that does get crossed. So I just try to really keep it as open as possible. Try to really let her explain that the presidency election really isn't the presidency election that you need to put all that big voting election, all that big voting election, all of that big energy election, all that big energy that most people put into it, right? That is more of a popularity contest for the CEO of the United States of America. And to be honest with you, one of the things that I told her that I appreciated Trump for more than anything else is that he understood the business of the United States and he handled the business portion of the United States really well. Like I said, people forget one of the first things he did when he looked at a contract, was like, yeah, this is a bad contract. We're gonna redo this, or you're gonna stop doing, or we'll stop doing business with you and we'll go somewhere else. That wasn't a bad move. I think everybody would want to get out. Everybody, when they see a bad contract, when their representative or their lawyer, whoever's running their book, suddenly comes like, yeah, this contract ain't good. We're gonna get out of this immediately. How the hell are you doing this? You're literally paying them to do something that you could do your damn self. Like people overlook that because of all of the rhetoric. That rhetoric made it hard to hear, made it hard to see some of his things. So I explained both sides of it. I let her understand that the United States is a business, and whoever runs the United States needs to understand the business of the United States, which comes with not only trading goods and services, but also trading relationships with other countries. You never heard anybody explain it like that. I try to keep it real open. Politics is a tricky topic. It's her first time voting, and she wanted to know about the importance of it. I told her that the election she really needs to follow is the local one, because most anything that she's really truly concerned about, right, or would ever want changed in right, is going to happen first. It's going to happen first locally. So that's the individuals that you're going to want to make sure that you do your most research on. Like I said, the president stuff is just cool. It's something that everybody from all 50 states can actually go around. But the energy is wrong. The energy should be more when it comes to your local officials than the presidential officials. But it targets more people. I think the only thing that gets more rating than the presidency election is football games. Seriously. Like in the year of a presidential election, the only thing that gets more ratings than them is football games, specifically conference championships and Super Bowls. Just to let you guys know, like, because it's that polarizing. I explained that to her. She didn't know that. I'm not here to tell her to vote Democratic. I'm not here to tell her to vote Republican. I'm not here to tell her to. I'm here to tell her to vote and just try to understand on where you need to, not even where, but how to kind of decipher what's the information that you're trying to look at. When I don't even know if I even did that. I'm trying to tell her how that's just to tell her to vote and understand that whatever little things you've known about politics so far is probably not what you think, and just constantly keep looking at it from who can help still benefit. Because everybody needs to look at who's going to benefit me and my agenda. Who aligns with that? I explained to her what happens when you have a Republican president in with a lot of with a lot of other Democratic people in house, and vice versa. Explaining her how things get vetoed often and how things get pushed through. Why I even explained why it's still a question I have this day. That why more presidents, surprisingly, why more presidents didn't act like Trump. From a sense of what, nephew? From a sense of making more things just happen, because I don't understand that a lot of individuals, once they made it to presidency, they were still maneuvering as if they were worried about their political career. But presidency is the pinnacle of your political career. So what the hell are you concerned about? But again, they weren't businessmen. They weren't already that's a whole different topic. Like I said, I had a nice little conversation with my with my goddaughter niece. Right. You got on December, did you? You know it's October, right? How come I'm just now hearing this? Oh wait, get out, not got out. Never mind. Okay, I'm tripping. I missed. I didn't see one word properly. I got my. You see, I don't got my glasses on. Appreciate you, nephew. So now you're not even more, guys. I just realized where you're watching from. Like, so I had a real nice little conversation. Like I said, I wasn't trying to sway her. Definitely because I don't want to sway individuals when it comes to this. I'm trying to sway her to vote Democrat or vote Republican. Just kind of have a better understanding of how each parties are originating, what where most parties kind of reside at, and currently today, the kind of cities that they overlook, like little things like that, little things that she probably would never ever hear in other conversations. Like I said, in her previously in her household, sometimes it sounds like if they just weren't like blue, just had to just happen. And listen, blue may not be for you. Blue may not be for the benefits of your state, or blue may not be for the like I said, and that's the thing that we have different cities and stuff like that, because it all depends on how it's for you. Like I said, like you need as much blue as you need red, and you need as much red as you need blue. But like I said, understand like they both come with their own different set of procedures and patterns. But they also do function depending on where they're also at as well. East versus west, inner city versus suburb, how close you are to a multicultural area versus not. So it really all depends on really what goes on in your local area. Remember to vote, people. I think that's what this is all about. Remember to vote, because the change that you really want starts with you more than anything else. All right, it's like they don't just register to vote. Like, get out and vote so that you can start making some of those changes that you want. All right, let's continue with the sports. Right, like I said, we had the New York Giants taking on the Jaguars 93-17. Apparently, like I said, we're going through this weird era where there's not a lot of quarterback spots that I think are going to be open in the near future. But I think I do know too. And I ain't talking about the Matt Ryans and Carson Wentzes of the world. Oh no. This ain't a country for old men. And there's a couple of old guys still in the league that look like Father Time has caught up with them. Now their clock isn't the Big Ben, but it ticks just as loud. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, guess what, folks? Your time is near. You've had a good run. I think it's time for you to hang it up and let whatever you said of a young crop of quarterbacks come in and do their thing. Think about who is the young quarterback now for Green Bay. Is it still that Lance guy? Is he still sitting there somewhere? Chilling? Learning? Like, is he still out there? Somebody send an APB out for my boy. He out there struggling, wishing Aaron Rodgers would call it a wrap. It's coming pretty soon. Both Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady have lost 3 straight games. If I'm not mistaken, Green Bay has Buffalo up next week, and I can't remember who Tampa Bay has next week. They may be on their bye next week. I can't remember who Tampa Bay has next week. But it's been a while since you've ever heard about 3 straight losses ever happening to Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. But here we are. Both of these teams have, like, Green Bay alone, they lost to the Giants in London, and then they came back and they lost to the Jets. Things are not looking good. They're not looking good for those 2 teams alone. And Jets fans, I know things are going to suck. If I'm not mistaken, we're going to talk about this one on Wednesday. But there may be a notable injury coming our way. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Now, there's another quarterback that may not be in the league for much longer either. And he's not as old as those other guys, but you know how this league is. Everybody kind of ages differently. I know I told you guys to take it easy on Russell Westbrook, but I find it very ironic that all of a sudden that Russell Wilson is like, yeah, you know what? I'm injured. I'm going to have to take this time off. He ain't trying to play through it. He ain't going to sacrifice nothing. He's like, you know what? Nah, I'm not looking good. This ain't me. I'm going to take this time off. And as a Jets fan, you're like, wait, what? Even when he was, like, nothing. Even when Russell Wilson was going to be there, Jets squad and Jets fans, you had to feel pretty good that you had a chance. That you had to feel that you had a chance that you could win that game. The moment you heard that Russ wasn't there, though, you were like, yo, I don't just think we can win this game. I'm pretty damn sure, based off how we've looked these last couple of weeks, we can win this game. And hold on, let me check real quick. Um, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I have a receipt for Denver in here as well. I guess we're gonna have to cash this one in today. And that's how they looked. Now Denver had all the elements that Denver could bring. They had gusting wins that were making field goal attempts difficult. But luckily for the Jets, you're looking at this like, okay, we want to run this ball anyway. And that's what they did as much as they could. Because this game looked ugly. We're talking New York Jets scored a touchdown in the first quarter. And that's the last time a touchdown was scored. The whole game. The whole game. By both sides. Now, the New York Jets end up putting up a couple more field goals. All right? But that was basically their plan. That we're going to run the football. And kind of sucks, right? Because I told you that the breeze was definitely that the breeze was definitely blowing in Green Bay that day or in Denver that night. But so was Breece Hall. He was blowing as well, right? And he had 4 attempts for 72 yards and a touchdown already. Unfortunately, we're not quite sure what his status is going to be for week 8 next week. There we go. Thank you. Now, a little bit of fantasy tips, right? If you guys haven't already, go ahead and handcuff Michael Carter. The New York Jets are going to lean heavy on him. He's already a major part. I mean, he's already had 13 attempts. He doesn't have the same pop at Breece Hall. Jets fans, holy crap! How excited are you guys? Tell me this. How you doing? Right? How excited are you guys? You realize we have a shutdown corner, a pretty good safety. We have a number 1 wide receiver, some pretty good veteran backups, right? To that number 1, that young number 1. We have a stud running back in Breece Hall. Full-blown stud. We're talking about we have our very own Cheetah. We have our very own Derrick Henry. We have our very own Najee Harris. We have our very own Jonathan Taylor. We have that guy as a rookie. We have our own Saquon Barkley. That's what I mean. We have our own running back now. Man. Just sucks that we're going to have to wait to hear if we have him the rest of the year. Handcuff Michael Carter. That's all I'm going to... You know what? That's not all I'm going to say to you.
The MyT Fantasy Football Tips. Not winning tips. Just tips. Just the tip? Just the tip. Just the tip.
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
I'm always talking sports. Listen, Stephen A ain't got shit on me. Let's let you know that right now. Right? Listen, I was having this podcast game before Stephen A even knew what a podcast was. Just saying. Let him come see me when he's ready. Put him right here. All right, let's continue. Right? Fanny. I'm not even ranting though. I haven't been ranting all day. I was ranting earlier. Well, I was ranting right now. Should have been here all podcast. Where was I? Where were we? Jets. There we go. Handcuff Michael Carter. We're at that point in time that, yeah, if depending on what happens with Breece Hall, you're gonna want to handcuff Michael Carter. They're gonna be leaning heavily on him. The only thing about it, Michael Carter may not give you the same kind of pop that Breece Hall does, but his workload is going to be should be enough to at least possibly put him in like a flex spot for you. He had 13 attempts this last game, and that was with sharing time with Bryce Hall. Not a lot of time, but still sharing time with Bryce Hall. If there's no Bryce Hall in the game, I'm gonna expect him to get about at least 20 touches per game. So if depending on what we hear from Bryce, you're gonna want to get Michael Carter on your team. Ravens and Bucks thoughts. That game I have Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens on that one. I'm not whatever's going on with Tom Brady and this new squad. I'm gonna put for it to continue. The only thing that scares me about the Baltimore Ravens is that they have not been able to close out games this season. And there's one thing that Tom Brady knows how to do is come back in a game. And if you keep giving him opportunities, the way that Baltimore has been giving teams opportunities, he's going to do it. But if I can envision that the Ravens have gotten their ish together, and this past week's performance, right? Not even so much the performance, but them holding off and being able to close out this game. If that's what the first step was, or first step looks like, and you say that now they're on their way to closing out games, then I'm going Baltimore because something's going on with Tampa. Like, I don't know if Tom Brady has gone full Florida, man, and he discovered a meth lab like over there in Tampa, but something is going on with him. He looks older than he's ever looked. He looks skinnier than he's ever looked. Browns at Jags. Okay, I'm gonna give you this last pick. If you want the rest of my picks, you got to listen to Wednesday's show where we'll be doing the rest of our picks. Because I wasn't prepared to do picks on a Monday. Just to let you know, Pippin. I like what you're doing there, but I'm not prepared to that. And plus, I'm gonna go Jags anyway. That's kind of simple. I don't trust the Broncos for anything right now. Like, they're a complete joke to me. They are 100% a complete joke to me. But we'll be doing the rest of our picks next week. Or not next week, but on Wednesday. We're not having a show this Friday. We're gonna be in Orlando. We're gonna be heading out to Orlando. I gotta go see my cousin's show. My cousin's show. I think we're still going to get to that hour where the alcohol mixes with the liquor perfectly and starts really fucking with that Dubla Oblongata. Right? I think we're getting to that point in the day. Cheers to the rest of you. So the Jets have a serious back. Like, I'm talking about, they have one of those top tier backs in Bryce, right? But now he has that one little injury issue. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on with him. And if he's not in the offense, how productive can this team be? Because remember, this team isn't super explosive. Right? Like, Wilson hasn't found Wilson yet. They haven't made that connection as of yet. Like, he's still passing the ball to Corey Davis, right? Like, that's still his favorite target. When he has a stud on the other side, double teams, number one corners, things like that, right? Like, he has to see him open before he can throw him open, kind of thing. Joe Flacco had that faith, that Antoine Brown faith. What was it? It was Antoine Bolden faith. Where I know if I put it up, you'll catch it. Like he knew it. Like, I don't have to see you open. I just have to throw it. I just have to throw it to you and you'll catch it. Zach doesn't have that same confidence, right, in him yet. So once that clicks, that's going to change the dynamics again. But also, maybe this is what they need. Maybe Bryce Hall missing a game or two. Maybe Bryce Hall missing a game or two. If that may help Zach hook up with Wilson more. It may force him to have to find him a lot more often than he was doing in the past because of how often they were leaning on Hall. Now, the only way that can change, right? The only thing that can scare is that you've already seen that they're very much willing to pass it to Carter out the backfield before they're willing to pass it to Wilson. That's the one thing that makes me nervous, because at some point in time, right, they have to really get it going to Garrett. He has to start becoming the bona fide number one option, and not just 4 catches, 4 catches for the game, not just 5 targets. We're talking about 10 targets. But again, this could also be the offense not trying to have Zach make all of these passes. But at some point in time, you're gonna have to open this up to him. Or he's just gonna have to target Wilson more. Zach's got to target Garrett more. That's really what may have to boil down to. Especially if we find ourselves Hallless, right? Without a Hall pass, he's gonna have to find another route. That other route may be Garrett Wilson. You're gonna see, because Garrett Wilson, ever since Zach has been his quarterback, from a fantasy football standpoint, his stock has dropped. With Joe Flacco, he was flying high. We were talking about flying higher than a jet in the mile high. He was flying high. Zach came back. They had to kind of dummy down, dwindle down, shave down the playbook again. But also, you found a safety net, and you can't blame them. I guess I can't blame them for that. Right? I'm debating with myself over here. I can't fully blame them for that. They found a safety net in Brees. Now you have to find out who's your next safety net is. And what you hope that happens is that what I'm hoping to happen is that he finds his next safety net in Garrett. And that way, when Brees comes back, now he's comfortable using Garrett. He's comfortable using Carter. He was already comfortable using Brees. Now you're able to throw all 3 of them in the mix. He's comfortable enough with Corey Davis. Is it Corey Davis? Is that who I'm thinking about? Yep, it's Corey Davis. Corey Davis didn't have any catches. He only had 1 target. Ironically. Michael Carter, 2 catches, 45 yards. Garrett Wilson, 4 for 24. Tyler Conklin, 4 for 22. Braxton Berrios, 3 for 15, and everybody else ain't worth mentioning. Braxton Berrios, 27 on the floor, and 15 in the air. Michael Carter with 29 on the floor and 45 through the air. Had a touchdown as well. Yo, I ate on my fantasy football today. I think I beat Buddy like 150 to like 45. Let's see here. I'm actually crying. Someone please buy me this. Like, okay. See, don't play with me because I would. Like, don't play with me. I really would. Listen. I've had a good weekend. And then, you know what made it even better? Not just the Jets winning, not just the Giants winning. I was able to get some rest finally. been going ham since last Wednesday, and I realized I do it to myself because good rest on Wednesday starts today. It really does. How much rest I get on Wednesday is really dependent on how much rest I get today and tomorrow night. And you guys already see, we're still potting at 12 o'clock in the morning. We'll be still potting at 1 o'clock in the morning. Somebody asked if the NFL rigged. I still say no. Like, they're a fucked up league, but I don't think they're rigged. I think for a while they definitely cheated for Tom Brady. I think they still cheat for Tom Brady. Was the NFL rigged? Nah. And let me ask you this. The NFL is rigged. Are people going to stop watching it? Because people still watching wrestling. I'm going to let you know right now. The NFL could come out and say they're rigged. It may hurt their numbers for 2 years. Maybe. They may not even hurt them. Then what? Everybody's going to just jump to the AFL? The XFL? Especially now they still have all these time slots. They'll still be in the perfect time slot to catch people casually on a Sunday. Still don't know when the XFL or the AFL or AWF or WOW. Sorry, no. Let me not put you ladies in here. This had nothing to do with you. You ladies are actually pretty awesome. I don't want to get you convoluted in this conversation. My apologies, ladies. My apologies. So the NFL could be rigged all day long, and people will still watch. Right? There will be 65% of the fans that immediately will not care. I'm telling you right now, 65% of the fans will not care. 35, you may lose to the end of one season. They'll be back. Because you know what? They ain't going to want to hit that honeydew list on a Sunday. You already got too much invested into these Sundays. Depending on who you are, you already got too much invested into these Sundays. Tailgating equipment, tickets, friendships, alcohol, spots. Nah. You may not even watch football anymore and still go out and do the same things you were doing just because you're used to. Like, I'm gonna go have a drink with the fellas. Like, I don't care about football anymore, but I at least care to go hang out with the boys and go get a drink. I want to be in this goddamn house. You know what I mean? So I can get it. I definitely understand it. Yo, what I don't understand is how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Carolina Panthers. And not just lost, 21-3. This is almost a shutout. Tampa Bay finally scored in the fourth quarter. This was almost a shutout. Tom Brady, a Carolina Panthers team that just traded away Christian McCaffrey to San Fran. Christian over there getting the playbook while he's still on the plane, studying as much as he can, being, could contribute to his team immediately. Tom Brady out here putting up a stinker. Now, this team is only 3-4, right? As we make fun and say, like, okay, there's no country for old men. This team is only 3-4. We're just about coming up halfway through the season. So you guys already know what's coming up next weekend, right? Or next week. Next week, we take a look again at everybody that was in the playoffs last year. And we try to see if we can point out and figure out now. Because we did this, remember, we did this at week 4. And we made some early candidates. We had some early candidates. Let's see what happens now this week. Right? Or next week. So next week at Sharkies, not this Wednesday at Sharkies. Next Wednesday at Sharkies, we're going to cover this topic. Which one of these teams aren't going to make it? We're halfway through the season. We're just about halfway through the season. And we know the NFL has a turnover ratio of 6 teams that were in the playoffs are not going to make the playoffs again this year. We're starting to see it shape up. So we're going to go over this exercise and see if we can determine which 6 of those teams are going to be out. And then we have one more opportunity at this. Just one. Are we going to see how things have changed from week 4 to week 8 to week 12? This is going to be interesting. Yo, what what isn't interesting, right? Well, what also interesting? Because I'm gonna go back basketball for a second, right? So let's roll up and roll out. Another squad with a bunch of old guys that I'm not quite understanding how this team is failing, to be honest with you, is the LA Lakers. And actually, I do know exactly how they're feeling. This Lakers team is no longer a hungry team. This team is the full example of a team that have rested on their laurels. They really are. This team doesn't care about winning championships. They just are happy being Lakers. And last time I checked, Kobe was really frustrated with a team that had, what was his name? Swaggy P on it, and a young D'Angelo Russell that were just happy with being Lakers. Because that's who these Lakers look like. The Swaggy P led Lakers. I would rather have the squad that LeBron James took to his first championship in Cleveland than have this squad. This team got no guts. They have no huevo. I'm sorry, they don't. They got no want to. They got no drive. They got no passion. I don't know if you guys see it, but this team does not look like they care to try to put what is effort in a real game. And then the Russell Westbrook slander. While I'll be the first one to admit that Russ's cooking has been real bland lately. I've told you guys this. Russell Wilson and Russell Westbrook, both of their cooking have been real bland. Let Russ cook. I'm sorry. I'm allergic. But you can't fault the man for every single thing. There was a shot, right? At the end of the game. Which game was it? Let's see. What game was it? Do I have that written down? The game was 101-102. Russ takes a shot. I forget what team he's playing. Are they playing Portland? They're playing Portland. He has the ball in the right wing. He's able to get it basically to like the elbow, right outside the paint, to take a nice little chippy shot. And he takes it. Nurkic doesn't really try to come in and contest them. Like, Nurkic doesn't even have his hands up running at him. He gives him the little, like the body check. He gave Russell Westbrook the body check. Not like I'm trying to hit him in the body. I'm going to just put my hand out. He hit him with one of those. And ultimately, Russ misses the shot. He had a wide open shot. He had a full-blown wide open shot. And of course, the Twitterverse is killing him for it. Bad shot, this, that, and the third. Not only them, Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James are both over here talking about, look, with their hands up, like, oh my God, what was that about? But he got in right? Into the 3-point, into the baseline, right? What, he was about 15, 18 feet away from the basket. Took a nice little chippy jumper. He just happened to miss it. He was wide open. Now, a couple of things. What I don't call, yeah. Were there better shots? Possibly. That he could have taken? Definitely. Was that a bad shot? No. There was 3 options there. He could have shot that shot. It was a good shot. He could have shot that shot off the backboard. Would have been a better shot. He could have drove the lane to the basket since you kind of had Nurkic backpedaling a little bit. Like Nurkic had his back half a turn. He was backpedaling. You could have drove to the lane, tried to make contact. It was a 1-point game. All you needed was 1 free throw to tie the game. But try to drive to the lane, make contact, something. If you don't make contact, then hopefully you get an easy dunk. That's probably would have been the better option. It's like the same way we killed Ben Simmons for not trying to dunk over Trae Young. I'm sorry, Russell Westbrook is the kind of guy that we can look at him based off his past athleticism and say, why didn't you dunk over Nurkic? Unless you're saying you can't dunk over Nurkic like that anymore, or the Nurkics of the world. Like I said, I don't think Russ took a bad shot. There was just 2 better shots. But they all 3 were good shots. He just took the lowest percentage out of all of them. Jesus, Russ, you're so hard to defend. But yeah, the unnecessary Russ slander, it's going to have to stop. It's going to really have to stop. Let's talk. Let's do some local talk, right? We're going to end the show here. We got about 19 minutes or so left in the show. 17 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's go to the local football because you know what? And you know what? Nah. I'm not going to talk about Tua got a tongue twister today. That topic, I'm going to save for Wednesday. When we're live at Sharky's. When there's ladies' night. Live DJ. Free drinks for ladies 9 to 10. 2 for 1, 10 to 12. Ooh. I'm already, you know what's funny? I'm already contemplating what I want for dinner from Sharky's tomorrow night. I've been having them do this honey garlic hot wings. Right? That's been pretty fire. I like their chicken Philly as well. I wish they had better chicken fingers. I'm not gonna lie. Because the person that's been drinking today can definitely go for some chicken fingers from one of my local eateries. And unfortunately, that place isn't Sharky's. They don't got the best chicken fingers in the game. Like I'll tell you guys, if they had Sharky's got one of the best burgers in the game. Right? They have one of the best burgers in the game. But the best chicken fingers in the game is at Team One of Taxis. Like they have the best chicken fingers in the game. Like that sucker, it's enough to make your head pop off. Don't forget, this could be your product right over here. To being displayed the whole entire time during the Mighty Sports Podcast. And also, holla at your boy for all kinds of events. He does I do. And I'm about to leave you. Because you know what? Not only have we got to the point I told you where the liquor and the alcohol are perfectly hitting them dubla oblongata in that perfect spot, right? It's like 1 o'clock at night. And I'm getting kind of tired. And we got topics to talk about for Wednesday. Listen, I'm going to give you a little sample. We're going to talk to I got a tongue twister on Wednesday, right? But I want to talk about that in front of a live Miami Dolphins audience. I understand that you guys may be feeling yourselves. And you know what? You rightfully should. Kinda, sorta. I want to talk about the 1%ers in the NBA. You always hear me talk about them in a negative light. All right? Or you always trying to hold me, or not a negative. You always, I'm always trying to hold them accountable for something else. But I'm gonna tell you about the 1%ers on Wednesday. We don't just have talk about the 1%ers, right? We're gonna do, what do we have coming up? We're gonna do our, no, that's next week. That's next week. We have our MyT trivia. I know you guys know about that already, but that's not even gonna be time. And oh my God, we got Disney topics added in there. Whatever topic that I add in there, I added a couple of random topics. I added some really easy questions for you guys too. Just know that we have well over 100 questions so far now. We went from like 24 questions to like 80 something questions, now over 100. Like, you understand that? Like, I may just go ham tomorrow. I just may go ham tomorrow and add another 50 to 100 questions into the pool. You never know what I may do. Oh, I added some hipology questions. Yeah. I added some hipology questions. And I just thought about another one. So I can tell you, we're trying to give these prizes away. And oh yeah, this week, not just doobie snacks, but also samples of Blue Chew. We have them all, folks. We have the full set. So we may do 6 prizes this Wednesday for trivia instead of 4. Still half an hour, but we may do 6 prizes. I'm just hoping all the joints don't go first. Cause I'm like, why am I even doing the Blue Chew? But I do know there's a bunch of you guys that like the Blue Chew, so we'll make sure that you guys get that on hand. And don't forget that if you would like to get yourself a free sample of Blue Chew, right, go to bluechew.com and use my promo code of QSJS, and you'll be able to get your first order of Blue Chew for free. I know we're wrapping up here, and I'm just rambling, right? Kind of rambling. Just making sure I get all these little things out. I want Wednesday's show is going to be big. Wednesday's show is going to be big because also, like I said, so we're not just going to talk about the 1%ers, right? And we're not just going to talk about tours play, right, for our local people. We're going to make sure we get you guys that injury report, all right? We have our picks we're going to do as well because we won't have a show on Friday. So we're going to be doing our picks for the week on Wednesday. Man, like I said, we already have a big show. We already have a big show for you guys on. I love to see it. I know you guys love to see it. I really, really, really do love to see it. You guys make sure that you come out you come out for the next show. You come out on Wednesday, come out to the next show, and I guarantee you it's going to be a blast at the Mighty Sports Podcast live from Sharkies every Wednesday night at 8:07 p.m. And you know what? You know the only reason I've been rambling is because I haven't gotten my outro music as of yet. So anytime that you're ready, DJ MyT, to play my outro music, I would really appreciate it, and then I'll stop rambling and then the people can go.